Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you very much for tuning back in for the second part of the lesson, for the first lesson of civics and government. In this part, we're going to look at different types of images and talk through different scenarios about what it means to take up good citizenship rights and responsibilities. Let me direct your attention first to the Google Doc, which must be completed. Please realize that it's your task to pick a different color font, and then of course type in the specific scenario mentioned for helping your community, being civically active, and protecting your community's future, but then also typing down in your own words an explanation about why that particular component matters to citizenship. The more that we talk things out here, the better off you might be putting things in your own words down here. So let's go ahead and get started. What do good citizens actually do? With rights and responsibilities in mind, there's so much that people can and should do to create a better government. Helping your community. So this is the first part of the chart. What do you think this picture represents? Well, let me help you out. This is the first one. Getting a good education. Getting a good education can be beneficial for you, and in theory also for your community, because it elevates the status and the likelihood of you being able to get a good, sustainable job with a great income and salary to be able to support yourself and your family and your community. The next scenario. What do you think this picture represents? Working hard in your pursuits, of course. If you work hard, whether it's your career, your passion, or your goals, in theory, this will allow others to be uplifted by your endeavors as well. In a democracy, people can benefit from others always working hard in their pursuits to elevate the status of others. What do you think this picture represents? Of course, we're connotating or invoking staying up to date on the latest and greatest news. Sometimes many people do not actively follow the news. Now, this picture might be a little misleading. To be a good citizen, you don't have to sit down and read a newspaper, but staying informed on top of the events that are happening in real time can help you formulate good opinions and justifications about what's actually happening. And you can also think about the way that your role as a citizen could impact those events as well and get involved. What do you think this picture represents? Well, of course, when you take a closer look at this, we're connotating sharing your good fortune with others. Whether it's a homeless shelter, help, or soup kitchen serving, there are so many different things that good citizens can and should do to elevate the status of an entire democracy. When we look out for the well-being of others, everyone can benefit. What do you think this picture represents? This picture represents or connotates donating blood or plasma. Did you know that blood drives are actually held frequently throughout the Lehigh Valley, and by donating your blood and or plasma, you are able to actually help out those in need who might need it from a surgical process or procedure and other events that might have happened nationally who are in need of blood. What do you think this picture represents? This picture connotates getting emergency training. Getting CPR certified allows you as a citizen to be able to be ready to spot whenever there might be an issue, of course, pertaining to the health of an individual and affecting their well-being. Looking out for everybody's health and safety can elevate the status and increase the likelihood of life for other people in emergency situations. What do you think this picture represents? We're talking about creating jobs for others. Now, you might have looked at this and said, well, this is mowing the yard, so keeping your yard in good working condition is important. And although that is true, the fact is that when you create jobs and opportunities for others, they earn income and opportunities and experiences for themselves, and they're able to set forth with money in their pockets and a new set of skills that they may not have otherwise had. America has always been an entrepreneurial country, so we as citizens should really endeavor that and delve deeper into that even further. What do you think this picture represents? Of course, we're connotating staying healthy. Now, you might be thinking, well, isn't that a personal issue? Well, in many ways, of course, yes, but everyone should want to actually live and lead a long and healthy life. But by eating right and exercising daily, you can actually elevate the status of a democracy by, of course, helping your immediate family and helping your community, especially when you partake in these programs that might be in the community and spread them. Let's go ahead to section 2. How being civically active can actually look like. What do you think this picture represents? This one might be a little bit obvious, but this, of course, is voting. Voting is one of the hallmarks of every democracy, where every citizen, no matter what your age, race, gender, ethnicity, anything, everyone has the right to vote at a certain legal age and meeting other requirements, which we'll get to later. By voting, you can actually vote on certain measures and procedures and choose your elected candidates and officials. What do you think this picture represents? Of course, this picture connotates serving on jury duty. In the United States, we have jurors who serve on a jury who hear the cases of those who are tried and accused. Jurors are average American citizens like you and me who might be asked to listen on a case to decide whether or not the said person or entity was innocent or guilty. What do you think this picture represents? Similar to a recent point, contact your representatives about issues. Obviously, this is very important because when there's communication between representatives and their constituents, we can let each other know what's happening and what's going on and what needs to be solved. Think about if you ever saw a pothole in your community. Notifying a representative or their staff will help them maybe fix the situation sooner rather than later, and hopefully better than never. What do you think this picture represents? This picture represents volunteering at special times. When you think about the holidays, many people are quick to cite charities and all these different types of organizations that do good. But the holidays aren't just the only time to actually donate money and to volunteer extra time to elevate the status of others. You can volunteer in so many different organizations that exist in our democracy that can elevate the livelihood of other people. This picture might be a little bit confusing at first look. However, this is invoking helping getting others involved in the process and in events. In a democracy, the more people who participate, the more democratic that government is. So right here, we're invoking the beauty of other people, getting other people involved in organizations or voting or in activities that can really elevate civic engagement. Let's go ahead to the third part, protecting your community's future. Please list in the Google Doc the different types of things we're mentioning here. Now, this picture should be pretty obvious, but of course, we're talking about recycling. Recycling the appropriate goods from your household or from your workplace can elevate the status of an entire democracy and its environment in a big, big way. We as citizens have every right to recycle and a responsibility to do so to help out our community. Now, this picture might be really confusing. However, this is referencing compost. By having a compost system set up in your community, you're able to actually exercise more of an environmentally friendly option for usable material. This picture might be pretty obvious as far as what I'm invoking here or connotating. However, picking up litter and dedicating time to make sure that the well-being of your community is in fact clean will help elevate the status of all and create a better today tomorrow. This picture here might seem like people are just washing a car. However, what we're invoking is watching personal usage of water and other items. When you think about when you leave the house in the morning or your morning routine in general, sometimes people like to leave the water on while they're brushing their teeth in their entirety, and sometimes they use water during droughts and inopportune times, but being more mindful of that will actually be able to help create a better tomorrow today. Buying locally owned or locally grown produce can actually help your local community in a big, big way, and that can be part of citizenship too. Although some people might be quick to cite that locally grown and organic foods are more expensive, the fact is buying locally owned, whether it be produce or any other type of material, will help an economy of a community. This picture might be pretty obvious too. We're referencing watching the usage of water and excess resources too. But when I say excessive resources, think about electricity. How many times do people leave the lights on when it's not necessary? Being more mindful of those resources will help us foster a better type of environmental situational construct for our community. We can also maybe delve deeper into other green-friendly energies. And this picture might seem pretty obvious as well. If you've ever driven through parts of the Lehigh Valley, you might have very well seen solar panels. Conserving energy and investing effort and energy into the right energy will allow a community to be environmentally solvent and secure well into the future. And this picture is invoking the use of public transportation. Now, many people might have their own cars. However, there's a benefit to utilizing the public transportation system that's provided for you. When people carpool or when they take the bus or train systems that we have, the fact is that we save on the excessive use of other vehicles that might emit other harmful toxins into the air. So in this way, we are being environmentally friendly. And there you have it. Those are just some of the great ways that we can be great citizens together. Please realize that citizenship in many ways is a full, all-in, hands-on effort for people to contribute together. Please make sure that you finish filling out the rest of that Google Doc. and message if you have any questions or inquiries about what it takes to be a good citizen. And please remember, it doesn't take much to be a good citizen today.